Hi, we're here at the Supercharge Your Life event in London, and I'm really delighted to be interviewing Matt Thornton, who I saw speaking on stage yesterday about the power of water. And as you were speaking, Matt, I really had this connection that Sunbird was wanting us to connect, and I found out later that we both had a drop of the water that he carried around his neck, and that's a very powerful connection. So I really wanted to interview you and ask you about, just to explain a bit about your vision for the shift we need around water on the planet.
Well, it's actually a delight to meet you, and it's beautiful to be able to answer these questions because it all started with the Emoto Peace Project, and I set that up last year. It's still in the setting up process, for that matter. My journey with Dr. Masaru Emoto, so I had quite a lot of insights from him, and I studied for a couple of years underneath him, and traveled around the world with him as well. So that gave me a lot more. Put me a lot more in touch with his thinking, his process, and I was able to spend a lot of time with him and ask and get into that mind of his. That was to teach the younger generation the power of words, thoughts, emotions, and prayers, and the power of the water to hold the intent. So, and his vision was to serve all the children on earth. Now, what I'm doing with the new water generation is to actually restore the water and reconnect ourselves to water. It's really that simple, because everyone's wondering about the pollution of the world, which filter to do this, hundreds and thousands of toxins here, then everywhere. There's a lot of fear involved. But when we come from a different level of understanding of what water's doing, and what it is, and what its purpose is, and what its truth is, and that we're water-based beings, and we're on the water-based planet, very few people understand water. In fact, there isn't really anybody who fully understands water. But there's a new renaissance, both from the science and from the Emoto office. And there's too much overwhelming evidence for the science now to go, okay. So they're all talking. I just know where everybody is. And so what the new water generation is to give that message to the people, get them to drink this beautiful, what I call, actually other people call this as well, I'm not alone in this, is full spectrum living waters. But it can only happen if we reconnect ourselves to water, because otherwise the pollution still happens, because the pollution happens from the mind of man, effectively.
Yeah.
So it's the consciousness of man as a water-based being that we need to look at. So it's our reconnection to water every time we take a sip, every drop.
So what you're saying is it's not about in the science and actually filtering water and actually adjusting it with kind of processes, but actually using our mind and our intention to transform the water itself.
There needs to be both. In my humble opinion, what needs to happen first is ourselves, our own connection, because otherwise if you clean the water, and let me just say, filtering is an old word. It is not a complete word, but that's all what people think. That's where we are. Filtering out the toxins coming in, toxins still going in, more expensive filters, billions and trillions of pounds spent to clean up water when it's not really clean. So once we reconnect and learn how to reconnect and understand the power of water to hold intention, and start to understand what water is teaching us, because it's a beautiful messenger, and how it holds information. Those beautiful crystals is basically, it's in form. How you get water to hold information, and that's the journey of the new water generation, to get the water to be like that, but also to restore and reconnect ourselves. So it's a two-stage process, in my humble opinion. The mind of man or the heart of man is the most important.
Wow.
I heard a beautiful saying, actually. It was Matt, what was his surname? Matt, that spiritual speaker. Help me out here. It was Matt Farn. And he said something really profound. And I loved it. And he's not a Haddo instructor from Emoto. So that people around the world are awakening to this. He said, if all the world stopped to say, I love you, to its own heart, there will be no pollution. No Fukushima, no pollution, nothing. And I thought, this guy gets it. He understands it. So I think that's a beautifully powerful message to say.
Yeah.
So that, by understanding that, you can see we don't need to, which one comes first?
Wow.
Otherwise we keep polluting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. We all search in the universe for more water here. Which planet's got water? We don't really know what it is. I love it.
Yeah.
Is it man's search for himself, to understand himself?
Yeah. Fascinating stuff. So thanks for talking to me. We better get back to the event now.
Thank you.
So that's great. Thanks for listening.
Thank you
and
very
bye for
much.
now.
Thank you.